Hello, good morning and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Chatbox Breakfast Show. It's another exciting week. It's Thursday, the 2nd of March. And yes, we're broadcasting live. As you may see, there's a little bit of a difference in the studio this morning. Nick has been replaced, but looks lovely because normally I've got Nick sitting there, but this morning I've got May King. Good morning, May King.
Good morning, David. What a lovely warm welcome. How are you today?
Yeah, no, very, very well. All that better for having you here with me this morning. People are probably wondering where Nick is. Well, Nick is somewhere roaming around the French Alps. He's doing some reporting live. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring him in a moment to see what he's been up to and what he's getting up to as well. But the breakfast show, followed by, I'm going to say millions. I'd like to think it's millions on a global scale, tuning in this morning whilst munching on their cornflakes, eating their toast or drinking their tea or coffee to find out more about business, to find out more about connecting the dots, the great conversations that we have on here. We're just approaching our 2-year birthday and we've had over probably near on 200 guests joining us on the show. May King, you were one of our previous guests and now you help us as the FOMO queen. We'll talk more about that in the show, helping make magic happen behind the scenes. And today you're in the studio standing in for Nick. So great to have you here. And we're going to have some great conversation. Great guests joining us this morning as well. We're talking all about networking and how that can help and absolutely accelerate your business to unbelievable levels. We've got a guest coming, joining and telling us about their story and some of the top tips and things that we should consider as business owners or as people work within an organization, how we can be better networkers and become better connected and build stronger relationships. So exciting lineup this morning. But let's see if we can find our roving reporter. Let's see if he's out there somewhere hidden in the mountains. Please give a warm welcome to the normal co-host in the seat, Mr. Nick Luby. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning to you, my friend. Very, very good to see you. Yes, indeed. I am networking overseas today. I am in the French Alps, just outside of Morzine. We're looking forward to a very busy day of snowboarding. If anyone's heading in this direction to the Morzine area, plenty of snow on piste, but no snow off piste. Okay, there's a snow report from today. So late night last night, but we're up ready. There's 10 of us swapping stories, and let's call it networking. And that way I can write it off in tax, right? Surely the tax man will pay for my holiday to France. So yeah, really looking forward to a busy day, and I only see these guys once a year, so it's going to be amazing to catch up. Networking, as we know, my friend, takes all forms, different places. You don't have to go to a formal networking event. You can network from anywhere all the time, and hugely powerful. So yeah, looking forward to it, and looking forward to the show as well, even though I won't be able to participate like this throughout.
And you are networking, Nick. You're there networking in the mountains. I'm sure you'll be going down to a few bars, skiing or boarding as you do between them. And that's good quality networking. Some of the best relationships are built during those times of informal conversation. So I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic, it looks great there. Look at that. Look, the smoke bellowing across the mountain background there. We can just see a little bit of the mountain there. The sun is just starting to rise. You're going to have a fabulous day. Find that snow and yeah, enjoy. Now, Nick, I know you're going to be disappearing off very, very, very shortly because you've got to get out there. The boys are all waiting for you to get down onto the piste and show them what you're made of after a year. May King, standing in for you this morning, Nick. As always, I know she's going to do a super duper job.
Absolutely, mate. The FOMO queen is a very, very fitting replacement for me. I'm creating my own little bit of FOMO out here in France, but May King does it best. So yeah, ladies and gents all over the planet today, jump on Twitter. That's where you're going to find May King most of the time. And please just throw your ideas, throw your comments into the show. Join the conversation. The conversation can go global. So from here in France, over there in the UK, and all over the places that we're broadcasting to, it's going to be great. And don't be too good, May King. All right, don't be too good. So I come home and David says, "Yeah, go on holiday again, Nick. We don't need you so much on a Thursday morning. Yeah, be great, but don't be too good."
Now, the comments are coming in, Nick, live into the studio. So Carol Becker's put, "Good morning, great to be back with you guys. Are you well?" Well, Nick is really well. Look at him, he's looking fantastic there. And Carol's also then followed up with that. Carola's followed up with hello to France as well. Nice to see you joining us this morning. With your comments. Thank you. And just like Carola, if you've got something you want to share with us this morning, you can pop it into the chat. We'll see it come up. And if it's a worthy comment, like a hello, a good morning, or who you are and what you do, we'll shout it out. We'll talk about it. We'll put it up on the big screen for everybody to see. So do drop by, say hello. And don't forget, you can always email us as well at hello@chatboxproductions.com with any of your comments, your feedback, your questions, or if you've got something that you want to see on one of the future shows, then let us know. And if you want to star on one of our future shows, we're always looking for great guests to have great conversations with. You can go to the website, chatboxproductions.com, go to join us on the show, click the button, fill in a very quick, short survey so we know who you are and what you do, and then we'll find out more about you. And you never know, you could be sitting here in the studio like our lucky guest very shortly will be doing, telling us about what they've been up to and what they do. So, yeah, exciting times. May King, just very quickly, Back to the Future. Look, I can see it in the backgrounds. I went to the theatre last week. It was my birthday. Did I mention it was my birthday last week?
You did. And how was your birthday?
It was lovely. We had a fantastic time. And it was also the really important thing. It was the closing date officially for our Chatbox Productions book entries for those that wanted to submit their entries for their top tips that will be going into our future book. And we've had loads and loads of great ideas coming through. But what we've decided to do, because I used my birthday as the excuse to close it. If anyone they thought they were going to send it in and they've missed that deadline, we're not going to stop you because we're starting to compile them all now. But if you still have a great top tip that you want to share with us and you think it might be worthy of being in our book, then we're still open to receiving those. So if you've got one or two and you thought, I've missed that deadline on David's birthday at 5 o'clock, don't panic, send it across to us. We'll still review it. And if it works, we'll put it in the book. You never know. You could be published in our book that's coming out in the not too distant future. So there we go. But yeah, I saw Back to the Future, May King, and I thought, brilliant. I went to the theatre. I loved the film, which I assume there's a reason that you've got that there. Are you the film buff lover of Back to the Future, or has it got some other meaning for you?
No, it's one of mine and Steve's favourite trilogies, actually. Yeah, we absolutely adore it. Love the film. And never quite got to watch the play, though. Weren't sure whether it would spoil the moment. But how was it for you?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Great film. I was child-free. The grandparents had my daughter. So we managed to have something to eat, a nice bottle of wine while sitting in the theatre. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic night out. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, get to the theatre, go and watch Back to the Future. If you've never seen the film, my God, you don't know what you're missing out on. Have a look at that as well. So we are getting to that point that Nick is going off for breakfast and then he's going to be going up to the mountain. Nick, do send us some footage or take some footage so we can show it on next week's show of your spectacular wipeouts. One of your colleagues can get that on camera. We can all have a good laugh next week.
No problem at all. Have a great show, and ladies and gents across the globe, enjoy all the conversations. Please join in, and let's see if we can crank up the power of networking even more. I look forward to tuning into the rest of the show. Have a great show, David and May King. Don't forget, be good, but not that good. I will see you next Thursday.
Thanks, Nick. See you soon. Have a great day. Enjoy the mountain. There he goes. Nick is off to go. He's going off to get his bacon butters, and then he's going to be off up that mountain, taking in the spectacular views, the little snow that they have. But he's been assured there is snow up there, and I'm sure he'll have a great time. But we're back to business making. We're now got to get serious. We've got to find out what's been happening in the world, and networking is the theme today. So we're going to take a very short break. And as soon as we get back after this, we're going to be welcoming our first guest into the studio, learning more about them, what they do and how they do it. And more importantly, how networking can help you. We'll see you straight after this. So welcome if you're just tuning in this morning. Welcome to Chatbox Business Breakfast Show. I'm David Bell, and I'm joined by the lovely May King this morning, who's standing in for Mr. Luby. And if you're just watching the show, Nick is out in the Alps skiing and snowboarding and enjoying the mountain views. May King, as always, great to have you here this morning. We've got our first guest already lined up, eager to tell us more about their business, eager to tell us how networking can help your business grow, develop, and accelerate to heights above and beyond. So please give a very warm welcome to our first guest this morning, Maddy Glenn from Softwood Self Publishing. Good morning, Maddy, and welcome. Just hit
and
that
the crowd go wild while she unmutes her mic.
Hi.
Yeah, but now we've got you, Maddy. Let's put you into the big TV screen. You're more important than me and May King at this particular time. Maddy, welcome to the breakfast show this morning. For those that have never met you, maybe some have, maybe many haven't. Tell us who Maddy is and what it is that you do.
So I'm Maddy Glenn. I run Softwood Self Publishing. We essentially help authors publish their books. So we provide all the services needed to publish your books. That's editing, design, marketing, print, you name it, pretty much everything you require. We also help businesses publish their books, when people want to tell their business message. And we kind of work with all kinds of genres. We've done fantasy to romance to leadership and actually walking in the Antarctic books, memoirs. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
Yeah. Fantastic. Have you ever done one snowboarding in the French Alps in Morzine?
I don't think so, not yet.
We'll have to have a chat about it. Nick can come back with some fantastic stories. So Maddy, you're Softwood Self Publishing, but obviously we're talking a little bit more about that throughout our time together this morning. But tell us a little bit more about your business, because you founded the business back in 2017. Mm-hmm. And I know networking as kind of as a whole was super important to help your business grow, develop, and get to where it is today. So tell us a little bit about that journey, because that's the interesting part about any business. It's the story that comes with it. A bit like a good book. We can look at the cover. You're the cover here on the screen, but we want to know what the rest of you is about. And in this case, what's inside your book?
So, I started the business in 2017. Honestly, I couldn't find a job. So I was just out of university. I'd run a magazine at university, so I knew I was good at leadership and editing. So I just thought, okay, you know what, I need to make my own job. So I just thought, well, let's try and be an editor then. I liked reading, I liked writing. So I offered to edit some people's manuscripts. And by the end of that year, I was already earning as a freelance editor, set up. And by 2018, I had created a website and a business name. And honestly, I started from nothing, no money at all. I didn't put any money into this. I had a free website until about 3 years in. So it was actually in the pandemic when everything changed for me. I was a freelance editor for 3 years or so, and I didn't do any networking at all. I just didn't. I think I found it quite nerve-wracking, the idea of standing in a room with a lot of strangers talking about business, because I was just a freelance editor. I wasn't really running a huge, like a whole business yet. So in the pandemic, my partner, he lost his job. So he came on to work with me. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, as in, I got the good end of it. He started doing social media management for the business and for our clients. And really quite soon after that, we had designers working for us, cover designers, illustrators, and interior designers. And so we had all the services required. So that was about 2021 when we had everything together, and we moved up to Suffolk, and that was a big change for us. We used to be in Surrey. Moving up to Suffolk, I mean, it's revolutionized the business. In Surrey, there just isn't much networking going on. There isn't sort of small businesses. It was all B&I, big things like that. And of course, it was all online because we were during the pandemic. So in 21 is when the business started going networking, and it absolutely transformed us. We've now We now won 2 awards, finalised for the Innovation Award, also a finalist as the Young Entrepreneur of the Year for FSB. So much has happened in the last year. And I mean, there's a big story I can tell you from July, August, where networking absolutely saved our skin. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know May King's lining up. May King's got loads of questions to ask, but I want to just cover off a couple of bits as well. So BNI, for those that don't know, is Business Network International. It's a global networking infrastructure run locally, typically in kind of the local towns and cities and stuff like that. And it's a very successful networking group. And I can't remember when it was established, but there's lots of people that join it. For me, it's not my taste of networking because it's very regimented, and David's not very regimented. I'm very organized, but I like to do things when I like to do them. I like to be in control of my own destiny. So BNI never really worked for me, but I'm a lover of networking or building and developing relationships. I think it's super powerful. You meet people, you have the opportunity to find out a little bit more about them, what makes them tick, what really are they about, not just their business. Great, we tell us your business, give us a business card, but that's not somebody's their personality. And if you get to meet May King, a huge personality and lots to love, but that's what it's all about when you meet people. It's them, and that's where networking's great. So tell us a little bit about that story, that pivotal point that changed your life forever.
Well, I changed my life. I don't know. It's simply that we had an issue. We were working from home until July, August last year. Basically, we had an office downstairs, and it was all kitted up and everything for the business. And then our landlord that we were renting from told us that they were selling the house. So we had 1 month to get out of the house, find an office, and find a house. And we just thought, how are we going to do that? How are we going to find a house that's big enough to have an office? Do we want to still work from home? Can we find an office outside? Oh, it was a lot to think about all at once. So I happened to be going to networking only a few nights later. We go to this really lovely networking event in Stowmarket in Suffolk. It's every Tuesday evenings once a month in a pub called the Walnut. And I love the fact that it's in the evening. It feels so casual and really easy to make friends. So I went there and I just said to the room, okay, look, I haven't got an office. I haven't got a house, but that's something different. But right now, my business doesn't have an office. Who can help me? And I would say 24 hours later, I had an office because of that networking group. Yeah, it was amazing. So a friend there said, oh, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And we have an office viewing and we've agreed to it. And literally 24 hours later, we had a move-in day. And because of that office, a lot has changed in the business. We've been able to grow. We've just felt more streamlined and more organized. And, the office has just changed the business a lot in such a good way. And yeah, it's been really exciting, but that's all because of networking. If I hadn't been able to network, if I hadn't known that community of people, I would have no idea where to turn. I didn't even know what kind of leases you do when you get an office. Do you have to rent it? Some people want you to rent it for 10 years. Some people are okay with month-to-month rent. It was completely out of my comfort zone. So it was really helpful to have that group of people to give me advice and contacts.
Yeah, no, brilliant. May King, what questions have you got lined up for Maddy?
Oh, wow. I'm just absolutely blown away by your story, Maddy. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for sharing it. Got lots of questions. And I'm really, really chuffed as well, because you talked about your movement from having no job to freelancing and then freelancing to establishing your business. Now, people who are just starting out, they've got a business, they've got the business cards lined up, they may or may not have a website, they know they need to do this networking thing, but they're introverts and they're scared and they just don't know what to do. Do you remember that scenario? And how do you get started? Because I know that, I'm an ambivert, part introvert, part extrovert, and I can see some of the introverts, and I try and help, a lot of the wallflowers in the room. But for those of the people that, those networking introverts that don't have someone who can, help, What advice would you give to those introverts, those really shy introverts, on how to get started when it comes to networking? Because we don't bite, do we? We're all nice and friendly, right? Even at BNI and FSB. No, they're all lovely. A lot of chapters are great. How can we get started?
I think when you're, as an introvert myself, I mean, I think I'm becoming more ambivert as I go along. But when I started, I was definitely very introverted, and I found it really daunting. Yeah, the idea of standing in a room and pitching my business. So I did go to one networking event in Guildford. I won't name names, but I didn't enjoy it very much. There was a room of strangers, and people just came up to me and pitched their business and handed me a business card. And I just went, I don't even know my pitch. I don't know the pitch for my business. And I just sort of blagged my way through it and ended up with a wad of business cards that honestly I never looked at again. And I thought, well, if that's networking, I don't want to do that. But that's just not the case. I went to the wrong one. I got a really bad impression because I went to a big one that was well established and there was a lot of people there. And the thing is, I think a lot of networking groups celebrate having lots of people come along, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think about 20 people is a good idea. So what you want to do, if you're really new to it and you want to really get into it, I would try and go to a really small event. Think about the local Chamber of Commerce to you. Especially if you're in a smaller town, think about the small networking events, because there's about 20 people in the room who are all there who want to support you. They love a new person. If there's a new person in the room, you're like glued to them, and they will all support you. And it's a really great way actually of making friends. And with that group of friends, you can do so much. You can do so much in business. So I know it's daunting. It's a really scary thing to start doing. But in a small thing like I'm part of the Stowe Market Chamber of Commerce, and I haven't once had to walk up to somebody and pitch them and give them my business card. They just go, "Hi, how are you?" And they talk to me like a person.
I've just lost you there, Maddy. Hopefully.
Oh.
You're back. You're here. Yeah. See, this is the problem with technology. Sometimes it can play up. You give it a good whack and it comes back. There you go. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so I was just saying I'm part of the Stowe Market Chamber of Commerce, and I've never had to actually walk up to them, pitch, and just hand out a business card. It's far less formal than that. We just chat and say, "Hi, how are you? Who are you? What do you do?"
Absolutely. And there's lots of different networking groups. And my advice would be go out and try them. Find the ones that you like, you enjoy, you're comfortable with. Some people like that one that you went down when you're kind of learning networking. You walked in the room and it felt very hostile and cold and business cards thrusted in your face. Some people enjoy that. Don't know why, but they do.
I suppose for some introverts, they want to know exactly what's going to happen. And if you have something quite controlled, then they don't have to really think about, what do I say? Who do I talk to? If you're told exactly what to do, exactly what time, it's much easier. But some introverts find that absolutely terrifying and want to have a more sort of casual space.
Yeah, but networking's great. Let's give an example here, a real life example. I got introduced to you by Penny Morgan, who is a previous guest on our show, a very good photographer, and she's done some work with you in the past and introductions through networking. So Penny said, "Look, Maddy, it'll be a great opportunity to come on the show and talk about, what we're talking about now, networking." But I wear another hat for the Federation of Small Businesses. This is a perfect lead-in. And you are a finalist at the FSB East of England Regional Awards. So let's get a good plug in here. Tell us a little bit more about the award that you're a finalist for. What is it that you are in for a chance of winning some silverware to put on your work mantelpiece?
Yeah, I've been finalised for Young Entrepreneur of the Year, which is really exciting. Exciting. And I'm quite happy that there's 4 people who have been finalised and I'm the only female.
Wow, there we go. Now, between you and I and everyone else that's tuning into this, but between us two, what do you think your chances are? Do you think, you've checked out the competition, the other 3? Do you think, look, this is a walkover? I'm being a bit sarcastic. But do you think you've got a good opportunity here based on who you know?
Honestly, I don't know, because I don't know exactly what the FSB are looking for. But I do know that I'm the only female in the group. and I have a more unusual business to the others. The others, I think, are IT solutions. I think two of them are. Maybe one of them is a creative business. But I'm the kind of business you don't meet very often. Publishing, networking. We're always the only publishing people in the room, really. So I hope that gives me a bit of an advantage. That I'm just the unique one.
Hopefully you win it before International Women's Day on March the 8th. That's what I'm hoping for. That'd be amazing.
Well, the award ceremony is on the 17th of March. So
it's Women History. It's Women History Month, so that's all good too.
You can still have bragging rights afterwards as well. Of course,
yes,
that accolade, and absolutely best of luck with it.
Thank
you. I really do hope you pick up that silverware on the day. I'm going to be there in the room, so look forward to meeting you in a face-to-face scenario. Because I've not met you face-to-face, but I will be there on the day. But regardless of that, being chosen or selected as a finalist in itself in a category which is a tough category, because there would have been a large number of entries. So good luck with it. I wish you all the best. Of course, I wish the other finalists the best as well. But it's a bit different, Maddy. There's some rapport here. We're building that relationship, because that's what networking is about. So good luck with that. All the best. Hope it goes swimmingly well. Let's just talk a little bit more about networking. Going in there, kind of the relationship development building. You mentioned about having kind of smaller spaces, smaller rooms. So, some people brag the rights. Oh, we've got 150 people in the room. Okay, for some, that's great. But you kind of very clearly said, look, I prefer the rooms when there's 20. It's a nice size, informal, conversational. Of course, there's all different types of networking. But from your own experiences and maybe what you've learned from others, what do you find are kind of some of your kind of quick top tips? Maybe coming into the room, how do you start a conversation? How do you politely leave a conversation if you need to do that as well? I mean, these are all little techniques that kind of you just find your own way. But have you found anything that really helps you?
I have a few friends who have a few questions up their sleeve. So if you walk up to somebody and you don't know what to say, they've got some really interesting questions. I'm trying to think of them now, of course. So you could kind of plan some interesting questions. Just things like, they're not necessarily things like, what do you do? Things like, okay, so if you could invite anybody to a dinner party, who would you invite? It really helps you get to know a person, and they go, oh, what an interesting question. And you start having a real conversation with them about their interests. So if you're really worried about opening a conversation, have a think about those sort of icebreakers.
Can we play that game? Can we try that now here live on the show? Put you on the spot, and May King as well, and myself. Who would you invite to a dinner party? You can
Michelle Obama.
Okay, so Michelle Obama is sitting at your table. Fantastic. May King, who would you have? Is it Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future, or Michael J. Fox? Who would you invite along to your dinner table for a great conversation?
Plato. Yes. Nice. And what about yourself, David?
I've been asked this question a few times in the past, and I have a few. So I'm going to just give you my dinner table setup. I would invite the late Steve Jobs, because I'm a huge Apple fan and admire the journey that he went on, the ups, the downs, the if, buts, and the maybes. And I would just love to ask him so many questions. I don't know how much of a conversationist he would be, but it'd be interesting. I would love to have Neil Armstrong at the table. And if he wants to bring Buzz Aldrin, bring him along.
Yes.
I want to ask the questions about landing on the moon, and did you actually do it, or is it a load of fluff? So I think that's a really interesting conversation to have as well. So there'd be two people. I have a few others, but there'd be two that I would have at my dinner table, along with Michelle Obama and Plato. What a great dinner that would be.
I just think Michelle Obama is one of the most incredible women. She's so strong and bright, and everyone says she should be president, and she doesn't want it. I just think she's one of the most fascinating women. But the other person I would invite is Allen Ginsberg, and that's just so nerdy of me to say. He's a poet of the 60s, 50s, 60s, and he's just one of my favorite literary stars. And I would have loved to have met him. He was alive for only 3 months of my life. So I would have loved to have met him. So he would be definitely at my dinner party.
Yeah. I've got a comment coming in here from James O'Rah. Great insights, Maddy. Love the fact you've been able to find a group that fits you. Networking, all the different formats groups, is a great tool for most businesses. Couldn't agree more, James. 100%. You know, you've got to find that works for you. As you've explained, Maddy, you found a group that you're comfortable with. You like the format, you like the people, and that is absolutely splendid. And of course, all of this networking helps us find people to help our business grow and develop. And of course, hopefully we can help them. But I find one of the really big factors about networking is the support that you get within that room.
Yes.
That support when you needed to find an office, someone there was able to help you.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, I don't really go to networking for clients. And a lot of people say networking doesn't bring you any clients. And that's not really what I'm there for. I mean, my business is more B2C rather than B2B. And so I'm not necessarily pitching for clients. I have found some, but I'm really there for the support network and the friendships you make. And it's just incredible, the support I've got from Stowmarket Chamber of Commerce and the Business Growth Network that I would go to. It's just incredible. Yeah.
May
No, I
King,
like that because I think that as sorry, interrupted you there, David. When we work for somebody, we have those water cooler moments, don't we? But when we work for ourselves, we don't have an office that we share with other colleagues and so on. So going to networking is a great opportunity to get leads. You know, I created FOMO for a networking event on Friday, and I managed to get some leads, which was a bonus. But I also started to make some friends there very, very quickly, which was great. And I think it's, especially, with the pandemic, it caught out a lot of people business-wise, but from a mental health perspective, I know that certainly I was affected. I didn't realize how much I needed to go out and meet people. And now that we are allowed to go out and play again, I'm not losing that again. And I go to networking events or go to conferences and events just to meet up, catch up with friends, and also, and talk to people as well, which is great. So really pleased that, I think different people, different businesses do have their own reasons for networking, and making friends is, just as good as getting leads, if not better, because you're building friendships, relationships, deepening your connections with people. I think all of it is really valid. So thanks for sharing that, Maddy.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with everything you just said. Yeah.
Now, Maddy, I know you don't do this on your own. You alluded to earlier when you kind of introduced that you have a partner in crime. You're Bonnie and Clyde, you're Laurel and Heidi, you're Morecambe and Wise, but you are Maddy and Nathan. And I know Nathan's tucked around the corner. Will he kind of pop and say hello so we can see? There he is. Hello, Nathan. Sitting there listening to this all unfolding. So you're the guy that sits behind and does all kind of the socials and marketing and stuff like that. Is that your role within the business?
That is very much my role, yeah. So as well as marketing the business itself, obviously, I work for clients all over the world who want assistance in marketing whatever it is they've published.
Yeah, and have you found Maddy's interview here this morning? Has she told the full glorious story? It's very hard, isn't it, to talk about ourselves sometimes. Has she done herself justice? I'm sure she has.
She has totally. Yeah, she has totally. And I can't again underestimate how important networking has been for the business. And it's and Maddy won't mind me saying this, but as an introvert. And I'm not an introvert. I'm a bit more the other way, and I find networking quite easy. I like talking to people. I'm a people person, and I know that Maddy struggled a little bit at the beginning, and it just proves how powerful networking is. The fact that she felt welcome and felt able to build her confidence in something that somebody starting out in business is might struggle with. So again, that's so important.
Nathan, I just want to also interject as well, because networking is not exclusive to face-to-face, is it? I know I've got some incredible stories of using the power of social media by being vulnerable and asking for help. I know asking for help was really difficult for me. It probably was for the two of you when, you were about to lose your house and your office. So social media is a great place for networking, isn't it, Nathan?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I spend I spend most of my days on social media, whether it's me or my clients. I mean, I love Twitter is my favorite, regardless of what you think of Elon. Because the conversational nature of it, really, people can be their authentic selves and ask for help. And the number of times, I mean, I often will search the hashtags for self-publishing, and the number of people out there who are asking for help and asking for guidance. And one of the things that we sort of pride ourselves on really is offering that guidance for free. It's all no obligation, but just starting conversations with people, just helping them, particularly if they're early on in their journeys, just giving them that support. And, you know, they're looking for it on social media, and we're looking to help people on social media. But also, you know, as you say, you know, networking as a business. I've had some great conversations with people. I've no idea what they look like, where they are in the world. It doesn't really matter. But the fact is, you're still having those conversations, and it's pretty.
Yeah, Nathan,
Yep.
just very quickly, go back to the dinner table scenario. Who would you like to sit on your dinner table? Is there
Do you
anyone?
know what? I
you
thought you might ask me this.
Go on, you must have someone.
Yeah, well, I'd go for Eddie Izzard, actually.
Wow,
Oh, yes.
It'd be great fun. The entertainer
So
for the night.
Yes.
I've seen her several times now doing stand-up, and met them a couple of times at the stage door. You know, my university, I would try and track down where they were playing. But I'd love to sit down and have a conversation. I just think, you know, it's such incredible intelligence and wit. I'd love that conversation.
Yeah, brilliant. We are running out of time. That clock is ticking down. But while we've got you both here, we mentioned about our book that's coming, Top Tips to Help Other People Accelerate and Grow Their Business. What top tip would both of you, can have one each on this occasion, what top tip would you give to your younger self if you could go back in time, or maybe to someone else that's starting their journey? What would that be for you? What does it look like? We'll start with yourself, Maddy.
I think I'd say make friends with people who do the same thing that you do, or do something similar. You know, I didn't know anybody who ran their own business, and I felt that a lot of people I knew didn't really get me, didn't really get my life. And as soon as I started networking, I made friends who do the same lifestyle as me. Might not be the same business or the same, you know, part of work, but I mean, I met people who work in the same way as me, who have the same ambition and drive, and I think that was so important for my confidence and for my social life as well. Yeah.
So build relationships with people in a similar business. People sometimes feel that as a threat because they see it as competition, but I say having people around you that do a similar thing is such a powerful thing.
Yeah, it's just really important for people to understand your world and you know how busy you are and how driven you are and ambitious, and to not feel shy about that or not feel embarrassed about your ambition. Have people around you who are as ambitious, and then it will drive you forward. Yeah.
Nathan, what would your top tip be for your younger self?
Younger self, I think, be aware that skills are transferable, and you know, wherever you are, whatever profession, whatever job you're doing, you are developing skills that will open doors further down the line. And if you come out of school and you think, well, the first job I get is going to be, you know, that's now my career. That's not necessarily going to be the case, and that's not a bad thing. Be open-minded, I guess.
Open-minded, transferable skills sound wonderful. The last question, I'm going to let May King have the very last question, but the last question from me is, how can people find out more about what you do? Where can they go? I can help you a little bit here. Look, magic, ding, there we go.
Yeah, so there's our website. Oh no, the other side. There's our website down there. You can find out a lot of information on there. But we're also on socials. So we are on TikTok and Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. And you can find us on there really quite easily, SWS Publishing. Just check out our website. Also, if you'd like to meet me at any point, I will be at the Stowmarket Chamber of Commerce exhibition. Here is the flyer. On the 29th of March, I will be exhibiting our business. Actually, we will be both there. That's really exciting. And it's, I think you have to sign up, but it's free to attend.
Fantastic. Give them a plug. This is all about helping everybody. So look out for that. If you're in the Suffolk area and can make that event, then go along, go and find Maddy, go and find Nathan, have a chat. So for those that are listening possibly on audio. swspublishing.com is the website where you can go and find out more, but you'll find them across all the social platforms as well. Go on, have a chat with Nathan. He'll be sitting there on the keyboard, wiggling his fingers, building relationships. May King, I promise you the final question with our guest this morning. Go on, give us the clanger. What is it going to be?
Thank you. Well, I mean, we've talked about networking face-to-face. We talked about networking online as well. Publishing a book is also a fantastic way for networking. But for those of us who have an expertise, and we're all experts in our business, but we're really scared about writing a book. How do we get started? I mean, we need to have a free chat with you as well. I know that. But how do we get started? How do we get rid of those imposter syndrome moments, get rid of those comparisonitis moments, think, oh my God, Michelle Obama's written a book. How can I possibly write a book? Who would be interested in what I do? How do we get started, Maddy and Nathan?
I mean, people, you're going to tell your story in a different way to how everybody else tells it. And people want to hear your voice. So whatever you write, a lot of authors go, oh, but my book sounds exactly the same as something else written. No, it's not. It's not going to be the same because it's your voice. It's your experience. So we're all fascinated to read your story, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. But we do offer coaching services if you really need help with plotting your book or ideas to write, or you need help with somebody going, this is rubbish, or this is really good, or this is what works, or this is what doesn't. We do offer coaching services. But I would just try and believe in yourself. Try and believe that your voice is unique.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you for that. That was amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just get words down on the page as a very practical first starter. Just get writing. Doesn't matter what what you're thinking, whether you're structuring it or not. Just get some words down.
Yeah.
Just
pen,
get
pencil
writing.
to
Love
paper,
that.
offload. Just get everything out here.
Love it.
Mapped out, and then work with someone, of course, like yourself, that can kind of make sense of it and bring it together and make it a top-selling Amazon book, or whatever that looks like. Everyone's looking for. It's been great having you on here this morning, Maddy. Thank you very much for Nathan for jumping in from behind the scenes as well, so we can say hello to both of you. Wish you all the best with the FSB Awards that are coming up. What is it? A couple of weeks away, isn't it? 2 weeks
Wow,
away.
yeah.
This coming Friday. Enjoy it. Soak up the the ambience, the round of applause that you'll be getting as a finalist, and hopefully a successful winner as well. And look forward to meeting you in person as well. So until then, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Brilliant. May King, fantastic. What a great guest.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What a great guest indeed. And what a breezy bonus we got to hear from Nathan as well. Gosh, so many takeaways. I did manage to tweet a few of them, but I will watch the replay and catch up and tweet the rest of them. But so many nuggets of information for seasoned networkers and people who are new to networking as well. So definitely go and watch it, make some notes. And for those of you who are thinking about writing a book, get writing. How cool was that?
Yeah, just pick up that pen and give it a go. What's also been fabulous this morning, we're going to be, Making you normally sit behind the scenes. You're standing in for Nick this morning, and I know you're standing in for a few future shows that we've got lined up as well. But what a great opportunity to show people the fear of missing out from this morning. If you didn't see this live, you're going to want to watch the recording afterwards because there was so many golden nuggets. Great story about Maddy's journey since she founded the business because she had no work. And what am I going to do? Well, I need to do something. So decided to go freelance and go on her own steam and stuff like that. And now turned out to be a fabulous business. Her partner in crime is alongside her, Nathan. It's just to me, it's one of those stories. It's heart feeling. You understand the pains and pressures as a business owner, what people go through, and it's great to hear a good outcome. So congratulations to Maddy and Nathan, and good luck for the future as well. Well, that's it, May King. We've had a great show. We've had a great conversation. Keep your eye on the socials because May King will be tweeting and posting out there over the next few days. If you want to come on the show, look us up, chatboxproductions.com. Tell us who you are, what you do, why you do it, and why you think you should be coming on here. As always, thank you to May King and the FOMO Queen. We're back next week from Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. Nick, I believe, is going to be back in the studio, unless he's still skiing on the slopes in Morzine. Until then, it's bye-bye from me.
And bye-bye from me.